Welcome to Powell River in beautiful British Columbia. We are out at Second Beach, where we have been blessed by the waves of the ocean and the song of the seagulls for today's practice. The name of today's class is Hips Don't Lie, for we will be diving deep into our hip flexors, psoas, and glute muscles for a well-rounded practice. Please grab your water bottle and meet me on your mat. Today we will begin standing in the middle of our mats, taking 2 steps outwards into a wide stance. Inhale, arms reach up. And exhale, begin to fold over vertebrae by vertebrae. Inhale, breathing into those lungs nice and deep. Exhale, begin to fold over. Inhale, reaching through the fingertips. And exhale, folding over. Inhale, come up. And this time the hands fall through prayer down to your heart center. Bending the knees, taking our goddess squat. You want to keep a nice straight flat back and tuck your tailbone under. Placing the hands on each knee, we're going to press the right knee away, opening up that hip flexor. You can sway side to side if that feels good. Just start to bring in some nice slow movement. And then switching over to the other side, pushing away that left knee. Taking nice deep breaths and sending that breath down to that hip flexor. Bending each elbow, sending them down to each knee for a gentle last push. Now straighten your knees, sending the tailbone up towards the sky. Feet become parallel to the side of the mat. And release the front of the body over. You want to try to take a nice straight back into this posture. If you have a flat back and want more of a challenge, you can bring your hands behind you, bending the elbows, pulling yourself in towards the mat a little bit more. And then relax. Let's start to bring a little movement into our knees, giving them a slight bend, and then stretching them, providing our hamstrings with some much needed relief. Let's again bend and stretch. Bend, and this time try to pull yourself in further towards your mat. Now releasing your hands and bringing them over towards your right foot, grabbing the ankle, you can touch the floor. Take that left hand and reach it up towards the sky. Fingertips extended, nice straight line. Feel that prana, that energy moving through you. This nice subtle twist. Bring some relief towards the upper back. Now releasing the hands, walking them over towards the left side. Now your right hand is going to reach up towards the sky, with your left grabbing that ankle or touching the floor. Maybe it's your thigh. Wherever you are today, just know it's exactly where you need to be. Thank yourself for taking this time. Releasing the hands, walking them back over towards that right leg. We're going to pivot the hips towards the back end of your mat, coming into an equestrian lunge. Toes are released, and you want to make sure your hips are square. Hands are going to release onto that front knee. Now to properly target our psoas, you want to play a little bit around by tucking your tailbone under, taking the chin into your chest, and playing with this position. Some people like to go down a bit further, but even the most flexible come up with the hips to fully target their psoas. and then deepen their stretch. Taking nice deep breaths. Let's now take the hands down towards the mat, sending the hips back and extending your front leg. Nice straight back here. You want to feel that energy moving through your spine. Front foot should be flexed. And with each exhale, in each breath, try to see if you can bring the body down a little bit further towards that knee. Ultimately sending your head towards that flexed foot and staying mindful about the position your body is in. Are your hips square? Are you focusing on your breath? Now bending the front knee, coming into your squat, and then walking yourself over towards the left side lunge. We're going to come back into that equestrian lunge, untucking the toes on that back leg, hips are square, and hands release down to that knee. You don't want to be leaning forward too much, or you're not going to be getting that targeted psoas stretch. Once again, tucking the tailbone under, sending your chin to your chest. If your mind is wandering, that chitta vritti can be quieted. Just always bring your focus back to your breath. Spend your time in the here and the now. And breathe. Hands release down towards the mat, sending the hips back and extending our front leg. Hips are square, front foot is flexed. Nice straight back, feel the energy shooting out of the top of your head. Once again, with each breath, each exhale, see if you can bring that body down further towards your leg. You're doing an amazing job. Feel that nice stretch in the hamstring. Beautiful work. Now bending the front leg and transfer your weight onto that left knee. Take the time to walk your hands over towards that left foot, that left bent knee. Right hand is going to meet your left foot, and left arm extends up towards the sky. You are going to feel a nice deep stretch within that left hip flexor, and a nice deep stretch within your right hamstring in that nice extended leg. This posture also uses the active balance, so you may want to engage your core. Beautiful. Folding that left hand down and then switching your weight over onto the right knee, now extending the left foot. Left hand comes towards the right foot and right arm extends up towards the sky. Picture yourself gathering energy from that left hand that is placed on Mother Earth. Allow it to flow through that right arm, past your shoulder blades, and then up and out through your right hand's fingertips, back out into the atmosphere. Beautiful job. Fold that left hand back in and transfer your weight into the middle, sending your tailbone up towards the sky and grabbing each ankle. Pull yourself in towards your mat. Do you notice if you're a bit further in this position than you were at the start? Have your hamstrings relaxed? Have your hip flexors released? Let's take another bend to the knees. Extend, pulling yourself in further. You are strong. You are powerful. You are secure and stable in this wide-legged stretch. Now walking the hands over towards your left knee, moving through our equestrian lunge, squaring off the hips. Hands are placed gently on the knee. Let's tuck our right toes under, touching the mat, and then extend that right back leg. Release the knee back down to the mat. Let's do this a few more times. Extend. Feel that nice full stretch into that hip flexor. Release. Extend. Release. One more time. Extend. Beautiful. Now begin to straighten the front leg. Being mindful of our backs, keeping them nice and straight, shooting that energy throughout the spine. Now bend the front knee, release, coming back into that equestrian lunge. Extend, pyramid. Sending some love into our hamstrings. Release. One last time. Going to extend both legs, coming into your pyramid position. We are now going to play with some hip rotations. So bending that front knee and doing little mini circles up and around. Really get into that hip flexor and now rotate it the other way. Great job. Coming back into that pyramid pose. Ensuring our hips are square. And then coming back into your equestrian lunge. The hips shift towards the side of your mat, walking the hands over to the right side. And now let's begin. Coming back into that equestrian lunge, you're going to tuck your toes under on your left back foot, hands are on your knee, and extend, coming into that full lunge. Release. Extend. Feel your hip flexor. Release. Extend. Release. One more time. Extending both legs, coming into your pyramid pose. Release. Extend, hips are square. Release. Extend. Now playing with our hip rotations. Bending the front knee and circling the hip around. Get deep into that hip flexor and that psoas, reversing it the other way around. Now find stillness in your pyramid pose. Just breathe. Bend the knees if you need to. Bring a bend into that front right knee. Opening the hips up to the side, coming back into your goddess squat. And then lifting the tailbone up towards the sky. Here we are in our inverted dragonfly. Begin to use a toe heel action to walk the feet in until you come into a nice forward fold. You may take a bend to the knees, sending the hips up towards the sky, flipping that tailbone up. Slowly roll through each vertebrae until you come into a standing position. Let's step to the front of our mat. Take your time to get centered, and then take a nice deep inhale. Arms reach up towards the sky. Then fall into prayer towards your heart center. Let's do this one more time. Inhale, reach, gather all of that energy. And then fold forward, nice flat back. Hands release to the ground as you step back into a plank position. Bending the elbows, Chaturanga Dandasana, or hips, chest, chin. Pushing up with an inhale into your upward facing dog. Imagine the sun beating down on your face. For an extra push, if you'd like, try to point your toes and lift your hips and quads up off of the ground, allowing your back to fold a little bit more, and then release back into your child's pose, relieving your back in the opposite direction. And just take this time to breathe, to reset. You've been showing your body so much love by releasing pent-up energy in your hip flexors and your psoas. When you have energy that builds up in your hip flexors, it can actually show as pain in other areas of the body, like your back. It may even move into your sciatica. That's why I named this class Hips Don't Lie. For every once in a while, you should show your body this love and release that energy within the hip flexor. Coming up onto all fours, tabletop position. Tuck your toes under and slowly begin to push up into your downward facing dog. Tailbone flipped up towards the sky. Rolling through back into a plank position. Stepping one foot up to the side of your mat and then the other. Dropping the tailbone down. You can take a step out further with each foot if you need. You're going to move your hands into prayer position in front of your heart and use the elbows to push the knees back. We are now in Malasana. Take nice deep breaths. This pose may feel a little funny at first, but it is great for your digestion system, for your root chakra, and for your sexual organs. So take the time to breathe here. Feel the nice deep stretch within the hips. Reaching your hands back towards the back of your mat, slowly allow yourself to fall into a seated position and just curl up into a tiny little ball. Give yourself a hug. Now slowly start to work your way down to your mat. Lie down with your knees bent, arms relaxed. You're going to take your right foot and place it on top of your left knee. Right hand goes through that little hole that you've created, and left arm wraps around the outside of your left knee and grabs that right hand. You want to ensure that your hips are square in this position as well. You may feel a big difference once you square off your hips. Shoelace position is a great stretch for your glutes and your hips. With each exhale, try to pull those knees into your chest a little bit more. Release both legs up towards the sky and switching positions now. Left knee is now over top of the right knee, creating that shoelace. Pulling the right knee into the chest and pushing the left knee back and away with your elbow. Beautiful work. Release each leg up towards the sky and then fold them into your chest. Give yourself a nice little hug. We are now going to roll like a ball and try to sit up into our boat position. It may take you a few rocks to get there. Try not to let those feet touch the ground. And once you have your balance, engage your core and release the arms forward. We're going to take nice deep breaths, extending the legs if you can, reaching up towards the sky, and then folding them in. Let's move towards the middle of our mats. I'm going to give you a few options for our last pose. First one being easy pose. Legs are simply crossed. You inhale up, and on your exhale, reach forward. Second option, bringing your foot and placing it up on each hip flexor. So you want to aim for that crevice of each hip. They will move forward once you have both legs up. While in this position, you can keep your hands on your knees, simply have a straight back, or reach up with an inhale and reach forward with an exhale. Third option, and the option I will be taking, is our fire logs. Shins are parallel towards the front of your mat. Let's start with our left leg on the bottom. Right foot is going to meet your left knee, and with an exhale, begin to release that right knee down towards the left foot, ensuring your hips are both planted equally on the mat. Now inhale, reaching up towards the sky, bringing in all of that positive energy, and exhale, begin to fold over. Using our breath as a tool here, with each inhale, sending that positive energy into the places where you feel the most tension or tightness. And on your exhale, releasing it out into the universe. And slowly begin to roll back up into a seated position, switching legs in whatever posture you have chosen to take. In fire logs, the right leg is now parallel on the bottom and left leg is on top. Inhale, reaching up, allowing that knee to drop down, and exhale, folding the body over. almost there. Take one last inhale. And exhale, begin to roll the body up. Releasing the legs, folding them into your chest. Give yourself a great big hug. Beautiful work, everybody. Let's just take a nice easy pose. Cross legs. Inhale, reaching up towards the sky, towards our Creator. Exhale, hands fall down into prayer towards your heart. Let's do this again. Inhale, reaching up, gathering all of that amazing energy you created during this practice. And then bringing it down towards your heart, back into your body, your mind, your soul. One last time, inhale, reach up. Feel the energy moving through you. Hands come down into your third eye and bow down to yourself. You did an amazing job today. I'm so proud of you for taking this time to meet me on the mat. I send you love and light. Namaste.